Welcome back to Motors and Medicine. On today's episode, I'm going to be going over a little bit of follow-up. So I'm just going to be posting some follow-up information pertaining to a couple of videos that I had made in the past. And just the first thing that I wanted to talk about today was following up on the foam insert that I installed on the Bronco between the soft top and the Bikini top. It was a 2.5 inch thick foam insert that was the exact measurement of the actual top itself, which is 48 by 60 inch. Okay, so I had the thought or the idea to install that foam because, as any of you who own Broncos that have soft tops know, that it's really loud when you drive this machine on the freeway or any other road. It's just really loud with the soft top. And so I wanted to try to figure out a method that I could reduce noise in the cab and be able to listen to the radio on a lower level and be able to hold a conversation with people in the vehicle. So as you guys saw in the previous video, I had documented some decibel ranges driving down a 40-45 mile an hour road. Well, a couple people reached out to me and said, hey, what would the decibel ranges read or be on the freeway, traveling at freeway speeds? So I went out and did that test. So that's the first part of this follow-up video, is just to discuss my results of that test. So I drove out on the freeway 70 to 75 miles an hour, fluctuating between those two speeds. My average decibel reading without the foam was ranging between 92 and 96 decibels, which is really loud. And just for comparison, for reference, 95 decibels is all you need, which is the equivalent of a really loud scream. That's all you need to cause permanent hearing damage in your ears. So it was ranging anywhere from 92 to 96 decibels on the freeway at 70 to 75 miles an hour, which is really loud. And which just made things difficult as far as holding a conversation, listening to music without blasting it. So come back home, put the foam in as I had done on the roadway, and went back out on the freeway and did the same exact test again. Same stretch of freeway, same distance. And this time I was traveling 70 to 75 miles an hour. And so same as the first test. Now, after with the foam in place, the average decibel readings were 86 to about 92. So to me, that's marked improvement. Even though it's not a huge range, it's still an improvement. So to go from ranging 92 to 96 down to 86 to 92 or so, far better, because on most of those ranges, I probably hovered most of the time about 87, 88. But I have to give you, the low and the high. So the low was 86, the high was 92, but right in the middle was about 88. And without the foam, it was between 92 and 96. The 96 being the high, the low being 92, and of course right in the middle was about 94 or so. But again, like I mentioned, 95 decibels is all you need to cause hearing damage. So to be in the 80s, I was pleased. And you can definitely tell a difference when you're driving down the freeway with the foam in place. Not only that, but I did find another benefit to that foam, and that was the temperature inside the rig, inside the cab, is a lot more controlled. So it retains heat a lot better. And in the summertime, I imagine it's going to retain cold a lot better. But since I installed the foam very recently, it was already getting kind of cold here. It did make a difference on temperature as far as keeping cold out and keeping the heat trapped inside. So that's another benefit to that foam. But anyway, that wraps up just a kind of a follow-up on that for any of you who had that question or concern. The second was I wanted to discuss a video that I had posted a while back, probably over a year ago. And it was a video where I had done some rear brake pads installed on my wife's Infiniti. Now, I got some good feedback from that video, some positive, some negative, and I welcome all feedback. I don't really care if it's good or bad. The reality is that I wanted to put a disclaimer out there that when I do videos, especially if it's relating to installing parts or anything like that, the methods I use to install the parts are my methods. It's just how I chose to do things. I had some people point out that they wouldn't have done their rear brakes in that manner, and that's fine. You know, there's a million ways to do things, and there's a lot of different ways to achieve a certain goal. And so for me, the way I did the rear brakes on my wife's Infiniti, that worked out fine. I verified the method with an ASE certified mechanic who's a good friend of mine. He said he probably would have done it very similar way. But the reality is I didn't cause any harm to my rear calipers as some people thought. And the car has been to Infiniti on more than one occasion for just usual inspections, and the rear brakes were flawless. So just wanted to kind of give you guys an update on that. Just wanted to make sure that anybody who had those questions, just remember that when I'm doing installs on specific parts, it's my method. It's how I do things. And the way I've done things for many, many years working on cars. And remember, these things I do solely for a hobby, for fun. All these videos that I post are purely for fun. I don't get paid for these videos. I just like to post just because it's fun for me. And I just like to have an outlet to just do something more creative. But at the end of the day, the methods I have to install these parts, it's just something that I do, right? Everybody has their own way of doing things. This is how I do things. So I'm not in any way saying that my method is the only method or the right method. It's just my method. So hopefully that puts that aside. The next thing I wanted to cover for you guys was I never did a night video showing all of the front lights on this Bronco, because as you guys remember, I had installed a grille with custom LED lights, as well as custom fog lights in the bumper, and then running lights and turn signal lights in the hood sights that are on the hood. I had taken the original old plastic things that came from the factory off and put billet aluminum pieces that had built-in lights that act as turn signals, as well as just running amber lights during nighttime driving. And so I'm going to insert after this segment a video of that, and this is going to be just kind of a nighttime walk around of what that looks like. So enjoy this next little clip. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed that little clip of the lights on the Bronco. Now we'll get into the final follow-up little segment that I wanted to do, and that has to do with all of the parts that I've bought for the Bronco to this point. And somebody had asked me, a couple of viewers asked me to compile a list of all the parts I bought and where I bought those parts. So I'm gonna just read them off, and then I'm gonna post this list that I made in the description. So if you guys have any questions of where I bought the parts, then you'll have that information. Because I tried to do that on most of the videos. I tried to put in the description where I bought the parts and how many parts I've installed to this point. But that information is going to be added into the description section of this video. So here goes. So I kind of just walked around the Bronco making a list of all the different things I could see. I'm sure I may have left some things out, but for the most part, I'm just going to go through the list. So the front grille that's custom with those LED lights, I bought that on eBay. You just type in a search for front grills, and there's a bunch of different variations that come up. The front-facing camera, I bought that from Amazon, and so it came with a monitor that I have inside the cab. I only use it if I'm going off-road. Otherwise, I don't really need it, but it's nice to have the front-facing camera whenever I'm doing obstacle work or something like that, off-road. The fog lights were from extremeterrain.com. So I bought those fog lights from Extreme Terrain, and it's just an off-road site where you can buy a lot of different parts for your off-road rigs, including Broncos. The intercooler I purchased at VF Engineering, and that's just another company that builds intercoolers and other parts for the vehicles, especially the Bronco. These skid plates I bought from ARB, so I just went to the ARB website for that. The hood sight lights, as I mentioned earlier, those were purchased from IAG, which is IAGoffroad.com is the website. Let's see. The tie rod sleeves underneath to help prevent any breakage of the tie rods, I bought those from Rough Country. The leveling kit I purchased from Zone Off-Road, and we installed both at the same time when I had the leveling kit done. The side sliders, or the rock sliders on the Bronco here, I bought from Rough Country. The sway bar disconnects, which I have in the front, I purchased from Private Label Manufacturing. It's a company that builds custom parts for tons of different vehicles, including off-road vehicles. The light bar that I have not yet installed lights, but it's a bar that protects the front glass from those tangential flying objects that tend to crack the windshield. By the way, since I've installed that, I haven't had a single rock chip on this thing. So I am very grateful. It seems like for some reason, these windshields, when they get hit on the side, they tend to just crack really bad. I mean, obviously this is my third windshield, so you guys know on previous videos that I've had a lot of these crack on me. But since I put this protector on, it seems like it helps deflect a lot of those stones that would otherwise cause potential cracking. But I bought that on eBay from a company called Top Auto Parts. Moving on, if I open the hood, there's hood struts that keep it up. Those hood struts I bought from Rough Country as well. The cold air intake I bought from Injen, I-N-J-E-N. It's just an cold air intake company that makes intakes for all kinds of different vehicles. The catch can that's inside the vehicle, I bought that from JLT. The custom engine cover, I purchased that from JCR Off-Road. So it's jcroffroad.com. The programmer I purchased from Racechips, as I discussed in the video. The blow-off valve adapter I bought from IAG. The mud guards that you see, I actually bought those when the Bronco first came out because nobody had made mud guards for the Bronco when it first came out back in 2021, whatever it was. And these were 3D printed by a company on Etsy. So I just went to Etsy and did a search, and I found this company that made these 3D printed mud guards. That's where I got those. The Bronco emblem that you see behind me, that one I also bought on Etsy from a company called Vasher Design. The carbon fiber covers for all the door handles I bought from Extreme Terrain. The seat covers in the interior, the leatherette seat covers that are waterproof, I bought those from Mabett Designs. All the carbon fiber that's in the interior, I bought that on Amazon. Let's see. Oh, the safe that's inside the center console, I bought that from IAG. The bikini top that you see from inside, I bought that from Rough Country. As I mentioned earlier, the foam insert was purchased on Amazon, and that was a 48 by 60, which is the exact measurement of what fits up there. The speakers that I installed 4 speakers at one point, and I think I made a video of that, I can't remember. But the speakers that I installed were from Kicker. I just went to the Kicker website to get those speakers. The door pockets and the grab handle pockets were purchased from IAG. The floor liners from WeatherTech. The fuel door cover from Extreme Terrain. The exhaust system was bought from AFE, which is another performance company that makes induction, exhaust, different things like that. And so I think it's just afe.com is their website. The spare tire brake light ring that's inside the spare, I bought that on eBay. The rear hatch struts, similar to the front struts, I bought those at IAG. The roll bar protector pads I bought from IAG. The rear lower control arms I bought from Core 4x4. The B-pillar panels I bought from Extreme Terrain. The tube doors that you guys have seen on other videos that obviously I only use in the summertime, I bought those on eBay. The billet caps for the oil and for the power steering and all the other accessories under the hood, I bought on eBay. The drip rails that you see up on the top, I bought those from IAGoffroad.com. And I think that covers most of the parts that I've bought. I think one more thing, the grab handles that are in the interior, I bought those from IAG as well. So I'm sure I left out a few parts for the most part, but a lot of what I've purchased was from IAG. That was like a big one. And Extreme Terrain, that was another big one. But there's just so many different off-road shops out there that offer parts for these Broncos now. You can just do a search and just find a million parts for these Broncos. That's one of the reasons why I love this rig so much, is that it's just so modular. It's easy to modify it, change it, personalize it, make it your own. And one last thing I wanted to cover is that all of these parts that I bought, the vast majority of them I bought myself. There were a few parts that I was able to get at either a discount because of my channel, or I actually got a couple of parts that were sponsored. The grill in front that has the LED lights, that was one of those sponsored parts. But for the most part, by and large, I bought all the parts on this vehicle myself. And like I said, I did it just because I enjoy this as an outlet, and I really like to modify all the vehicles that I own. So hopefully this answers a lot of your questions as far as the follow-up information on the foam and the brakes and lighting and all the other things. And if you guys have any other questions that you guys want answered, just post comments, and I'll try to get to those things at another time. Moving forward, I'm gonna try to get back into making a little bit more content. I've just been really busy lately with my job, so I will try to get my wife's Infiniti reviewed, because I know I promised that as one of the videos, and I've got a couple other ideas for some content that I'm gonna put out. So until then, this is Motors and Medicine signing off. Again, I appreciate all of your support. Please like this video if you appreciated the content, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.